Call of Duty fans won't have to wait much longer to get their hands on Black Ops 4. Activision and Treyarch have announced that the first of 2 beta tests for the game will kick off August 3rd. Specifically, it will run from August 3rd to 6th exclusively on the PlayStation 4. Then from August 10th to 13th, it will be available on both the PS4 and Xbox One, while the PC beta takes place August 10th and 11th. You'll need to pre-order the game in order to get access to the beta, except for the second PC day, when it will be an open beta to anyone with a Battle.net account. The beta test is focused on the traditional multiplayer component of the game, with players able to try out 6 maps and 5 modes. A second beta test, which will focus on the game's new Battle Royale mode, Blackout, will take place in September. The final game deploys October 12th and will not have a single-player campaign. I guess they're going to have to beta test the crap out of this game, because it's all reliant on how the multiplayer feels. And, obviously, this is such a massive game, they can't really do early access and sort of get the community to help them build it and design it. They've got to come out strong, and I'm very interested to see how they're going to do that. Obviously, they have tons of money and tons of internal QA and lots of resources at their disposal. It was a huge decision to remove the single player. We're going to find out if that makes a big impact on the sales and how we all feel about it, playing the game. I have faith in the Treyarch team, though. They've made good games in the past. They were a great developer, and the game looks solid. We didn't get our hands on Blackout, and we didn't get our hands on the zombie stuff when we got the hands-on time with Call of Duty Black Ops 4, which was a bit weird because it wasn't, it was at E3. It wasn't that long ago, and it's not that long until this thing is out, so it felt strange that they didn't have stuff to show us that was brand new. The multiplayer felt solid. I think it's going to be a very successful game, but I think it might take a bit of a hit. But Blackout may be something that sort of becomes its own entity. It has the potential to be cut right out of Call of Duty Black Ops 4 and turned into its own huge thing, just like we saw with Fortnite Battle Royale. Interesting days, and the Battle Royale between Battle Royale games is on, baby! After a long and arduous search, it looks like Marvel has found the right filmmaker to head their Black Widow movie. The long-awaited solo movie focusing on the heroic spy will reportedly be helmed by Australian filmmaker Kate Shortland, who directed the 2012 World War II drama Lore, as well as last year's psychological thriller Berlin Syndrome. All of Kate Shortland's previous films have had an intense tone, and most of them deal with espionage in some way, so her hiring indicates that Marvel might want the Black Widow movie to be an intense spy thriller, more in line with Winter Soldier than the more heroic Avengers outings. That makes sense given that it's expected to focus on Black Widow's younger years as a spy before she joined the Avengers team. The film is expected to begin shooting next year. This sounds incredibly fun and intriguing, and it's going to be interesting to see how dark they go with Black Widow, because clearly this is a character that could have, an R-rated film. She's assassinated people and she's done some heavy things. I'm really curious to see how much they push this. She may be a bit of an anti-hero. We may have a totally different idea of who Black Widow is, and it may add some really incredible depth to Scarlett Johansson's performance going forward. And, presumably this is going to be a hit because Marvel is like batting 1,000 on their movies, so maybe this is going to lead to like the Black Widow trilogy. Who knows? I mean, we're getting more Doctor Strange, we're getting more Black Panther. This could be big. Very cool. Now, one of BioWare's top game makers is leaving. BioWare's senior creative director James Olin, who's been with the studio for 22 years, is leaving in order to start his own company. Olin's first BioWare project was serving as a designer on Baldur's Gate, and since then he's served as lead designer on Dragon Age, game director on Star Wars The Old Republic, and has been working on BioWare's newest game, Anthem. Writing on Twitter, James Olin says that he's loved his time at BioWare but needs to take a break from the game industry to work on smaller and more personal projects. The new company he is founding is called Arcanum Worlds, and will create cool fantasy books based around franchises like Dungeons & Dragons. This is a little bit worrisome, I think, around Anthem. And, there's been a lot of sort of high-profile moves at BioWare the last few years. I think there is some concern to be had about what's going on with BioWare. Obviously, Mass Effect Andromeda was an eye-opener and a big ball dropped. And I think there's some concern about how long, Electronic Arts would let a company like BioWare kind of find their way, in this sort of current generation and with the massive amounts of expectations that we have around their software. There are still hundreds and hundreds of incredible developers working at BioWare, so I suspect that Anthem is going to turn out great. It had a fantastic hands-on session at E3. I am excited about that game. I'm excited to find out what's going on with Dragon Age, and hopefully we're going to hear some more about Mass Effect in the not-too-distant future. But yes, when we have a high-profile developer like this saying, you know, I'm out, it certainly raises some concerns and some eyebrows, but hopefully it's just... You know, just as James is pointing out there, that he just needs a change, and I can understand that. Sometimes it's good to kind of take a break. I mean, even Casey Hudson took a break from BioWare, but now he's back leading the ship, and that is something that fills me with confidence, because that guy knows what he's doing, and he's a great dude. So audiences will be able to return to the aristocratic halls of Downton Abbey, this time on the big screen. 3 years after the hit historical drama finished its 6th and final season, a movie based on the show is officially on the way. The entire original cast is set to reprise their roles, with the story once again focusing on the affluent Drawley family in Edwardian England. Creator Julian Fellows is writing the screenplay, and the director will be Brian Percival, who helped multiple episodes of the show. Carnival Films, the production company behind the series, is producing the movie, and it will be distributed by Focus Features, which is under the same NBC Universal corporate umbrella as Downton Abbey's UK network, ITV. Filming begins later this year. I really don't have a lot of thoughts on Downton Abbey. I've never watched a single episode. I have heard that it's very good. I believe that my wife enjoyed her time with Downton Abbey. I think she binged the whole thing. But this could be fun. Maybe they're trying to sort of create this movie as a way for people to sort of come to it and find a way in, and then they can watch the rest of the show if they want to. That's it for the rundown today. Thank you for watching that. But right now, let's get started with this day in Everything Cool.